I'm Jane Warren, and in this video I want to talk about how to tell your kids that the divorce is happening. So the when's been covered in another video, but this one's some of the considerations in terms of how. So first of all, when it comes to how to tell the kids, and I think that this is, well, they're all important points, but this is one of the key ones, is to tell them together. If at all possible, sit them down together and tell them. It's really important that you show a united front to them, that this is what is happening, that you're both, you're not necessarily both on board with it, that's not necessarily part of the conversation, but that you are both telling them that this is what is occurring. So it's not one person taking the kids off to one side and telling them what's going on, and then the other person scrambling to get their voice into the middle as well. It's both of you together as a united front so they can see that their parents are still their parents. Secondly, right on the heels of that one, is that you tell them that you are separating. You tell them that you have made this decision. You tell them, if you can, what the implications of that are going to be from a practical point of view. And you don't tell them who did what to whom, who made the decision, why it's being done, who did what, who hurt what, who hurt who, or who transgressed against the other party. That part of the whole equation, they do not need to know. Certainly not at the beginning of this whole undertaking. So you've made the decision. This is what's going to happen. You're both sad. Tell them how you feel about it. Be honest about that. But the whole whys and wherefores are really adult information at this stage, not for the children. So that's the second thing. The third thing is to think about, once you've actually sat down together and told them what is going on, that you each find time to make space to spend time, share space with each of them on an individual basis. Not to tell them more, not to tell them your side of the story, but to listen to how they're feeling and what they're thinking and what questions that they might have for you to answer. So being able to do that, kids will talk. Some kids will talk more easily to one parent than the other parent. Kids will talk more easily on their own with their siblings around at certain times after certain things happen. So be very available and very open to both of them, to all of them, individually them and individually the two of you. So each of you meeting individually with each of the children is what I'm trying to say there. And creating that space for them to talk further, still not going into the who did what to whom kind of questions or answers. So the fourth consideration would be, do we tell the children as a group or do we tell the children individually? This is going to depend a lot on the ages of the children, the temperaments of the children, their personalities, those kind of considerations, which you're going to know better than anybody, and still not necessarily be able to 100% predict how they're going to react, how any one child is going to react. So sure, you can tell them individually, but it'd be tough to have a situation where you've got mom and dad in the room, one by one calling the children in to have a talk, and then the children coming out past their siblings crying or whatever. And by the time the fourth child, if there are that many children, gets into the interview room, they're going to be absolutely petrified. So you've got to think about how all that's going to go. But sometimes, most often when I see people telling their children separately, it's when there's older children and younger children, and the parents will tell the older children first and then tell the younger children, so that the older children, both so that they get to ask their own questions, because they tend to ask more questions, and also so they can provide some sort of supportive container for the younger children if necessary. So that's a possibility. But you've got to think about, as I said, your own children and how you think that will work. So having said all of that, one of the most important things that you tell your children when you tell them, and as you continue to tell them, and you cannot tell them often enough, is how much you both love them, how nothing they did could cause this or could have prevented it, and how you will always love them and you will continue to be a family, albeit a very differently organized family from what they're used to, and that, once again, you love them and you are not going anywhere as their parent, that you will be there for them, to care for them and love them on a completely ongoing basis.